Hey everybody, we're going to be talking about something very unpleasant.
Parasites that were in my body. There was a party going on down there.
More about that right after this. Perfecto.
Ya, me olvidé decirte que tienes cubita, bien tenía la plata, dile que lo que más alguien le paga, no te preocupes. Y bien tenía una plata.
I want whales today.
Well, we're gonna see both.
I
And
want
we're
the
gonna see
whales.
some sea lions as well. I'm loving life here in Ecuador, and the positives outweigh any negatives. And that, my friends, is called living the life you love.
Hey everybody, so we've been doing videos about all of our exciting life here in Ecuador, and we had some other videos lined up for this week, but Kris got sick, and we thought, oh, we might as well talk about what happened and explain it. But first, before we get into all this, we are not doctors, we don't give medical advice. So please, this is just, even though we have a YouTube channel, this is just your neighbors talking to you. So
We're
take
just
it at
telling
that.
our story and
Yeah.
letting you know what we did.
Yeah.
We don't recommend you do what we did.
Well, I do. I totally do. But anyway, yeah. Dr. Mike. and
Dr. Mike.
Dr. Google.
Yep. So anyway, for like a good week, I just wasn't feeling all that well. I was like really tired all the time.
Yeah.
I had some cramps in my belly, and my lower back was sore.
I
What-
knew there was a problem
Yeah.
when I was getting more work done around the house than Kris.
Yeah, because
And that never happens.
That never happens.
So I know she's really sick. I was quite concerned, actually.
Yeah.
And
So
we were sitting out by the pool, and Kris wasn't getting any better. So I thought, okay, we'll go get the doctor. But then she said one thing.
I said, I don't know why I'm hungry all the time, but I could eat and eat all day long.
Yeah. So then I thought, oh yeah, we never took our parasite medication, because the plan that we decided to do is every 6 months take any parasitic information, and we'll tell you why as we go through this video. But we've been here 9 months and we didn't take it. We bought it. So our plan at that point was, here it's only 2 days of medicine. So we went on that. We both did, actually, even though I didn't have any symptoms. We were going to do it anyway. And we've just been through that. My last day was yesterday. Yours was the day before. And how do you feel now?
He wanted to use me first to see what's
Yes.
going to happen.
Yes, I wanted to see what the side effects
Yeah.
were, to see whether I should take it or not. Yes,
Yeah.
it's a proper medical experiment.
Yes, so we didn't take it at the same time.
No.
No, he waited a day.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's fair. Anyway, so obviously she feels,
I'm back to myself again.
yeah,
Getting all those jobs done that needed to get done around here.
yeah. So why don't we go through actually some of so we can sort of help out, because we did a fair amount of research on this before we just got that parasite kit. So we'll just sort of explain to you. And again, if Kris was still sick a day or two after, for sure we would have got a doctor. Some people feel a lot more comfortable getting the doctor right up front, and we'll talk about the pros and cons of all that shortly. But let's just get into some of the symptoms and possible signs. Yeah. So a lot of them are very similar to irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. And in fact, so much so that, especially in the United States and Canada, that are not as experienced as the Ecuadorians in diagnosing parasites, often it'll come out, I was reading, as IBS, including all the food sensitivities that come with it, when in reality it's some type of parasite infection.
So yeah, I was having like big time sleeping issues. I wasn't getting any sleep at night, which is an indication.
Which leads to irritability.
Well, yes, which can happen. Obviously, I had that symptom. But so I was tired all the time. I was frequently hungry. Yeah. Abdominal pain. So I could just feel like my gut was not right. And what went on with the gut as well was lower back issues, which is another sign of parasite. Yeah. Of course, the bloating. And they were saying in there too, like skin issues. So every once in a while, we would find ourselves a little bit itchy, but we had no spots or anything. Yeah. And we thought, well, do we have dry skin? But that's another symptom as well. Is itchy skin for no reason. Yeah. Yeah.
And you have to understand that parasite infections is very, very common, especially in developing countries, and also for international travelers, especially who travel all around the world. And really the primary cause, most of it is because the water that comes out of the tap here in most of Ecuador, with the exception of parts of Cuenca, is not drinkable water.
No.
And so, we have water bottles, big water bottles, that cost $1.50, $2, and we use those. But now after this, I'm sort of thinking, should we go and get filtered water for the whole house? Because when we have showers and things, and when we're washing our hands, we're using water that's obviously not from the water bottle.
So one thing I was doing differently than you were doing, which I have since stopped actually, was I was brushing my teeth with the tap water. I just wouldn't swallow or anything, but maybe that could have led to parasite. I don't know. But
the problem is once you start investigating parasites, you can really go paranoid or become a hypochondriac in the opposite direction, and then you don't really experience the joys and things of down here. Like some people would not eat salads out, for example. Well, if you really want a salad, like we've had salads here, and it could have been that. I'm a sushi lover, but I'm not giving up sushi. There's certain parasites you can get from food, fish, yeah, and also from the soil. So you're working in the garden without gloves on. Like the more that you read, it's like
oh my God, yes. Why didn't we have this the first month we read?
No, why? No, this is not a preventative. The medicine we take doesn't help.
But the more we researched about it, it was like, wow, I'm surprised we didn't have these symptoms before.
Right,
So
right. So there's really sort of 3 treatment methods that you can use, and a lot depends on your personality and what you want to do. One of them is sort of going the natural route, and if you research, parasite cleanse, for example, on the internet, you're going to find a lot of stuff that, in my opinion, there's really no science behind, and it doesn't work. But there are some natural things that I have found that there is some science behind it, and garlic, pumpkin seeds, papaya seeds, and there's a whole list of them, and you can go and look that up, and actually I'll put a slide on the screen here as well. So that's sort of one route that has some success, especially from a preventative point of view. But also another preventative one while we're talking about that is really about, you know, washing your fruits and vegetables from the grocery store
So we've
and the
always-
market, and
always done that.
And you can't just use normal tap water to wash it.
We
use our
the
bottled
water, put some vinegar in there.
and give it a real good scrubbing, and you really need to do that. But the other thing is, for a choice of you know, resolving the infection. So the first choice is sort of a natural. We wouldn't pick that. I think that's more preventative, as I've said. Another is these kits. So this is the one that we used. I'll put another one up on the slide. They have the same ingredients in it. Basically, they're two-day kits, and they're broad spectrum parasite killers, effectively. And you take one pill the first day. That's it. And you take 2 pills the next day, one in the morning and one at night. And you had some side effects from them.
I had a little bit of side effects, yeah, but not a whole bunch.
But that's
really.
also a sign, apparently, I was reading, that it's working.
Yeah.
I had very minor. I didn't really have any side effects to mention. Maybe a little bit of bloating, but that's about it. Felt fine. So, you know, we're all done that. And apparently, a lot of Ecuadorians do this every 6 months automatically, and that's sort of what we picked. It sort of comes with the lifestyle of being in the tropics. So the last method, and for many people this is the one that you would choose, is really going to the doctor, talk about your symptoms. And one of the things that makes it hard is, you can see from that symptom sheet, it matches a lot of different things. But if you're in Ecuador, like if you're feeling sick and you think, oh, I'm going to wait till I see a U.S. doctor or a Canadian doctor, don't do it.
No.
You have a much, much, much higher chance of getting it diagnosed properly in Ecuador, because they're used to seeing the symptoms all the time, whereas in Canada and the U.S. they don't see it as much, and when they see those symptoms, there's a good chance you'll be misdiagnosed. The tests that they use in Canada and the U.S., in many of the labs, not all of the labs, are not very good at diagnosing parasites. But the 4 tests that they could potentially do, depending on what your symptoms are number 1, a fecal stool exam, number 2, colonoscopy. They could do blood tests as the 3rd, and of course X-rays, MRIs, and CAT scans if they need to do that as well. So you can kind of pick which sort of matches you and your personality and what you'd like to do. Oh, by the way, our medication cost a total of $3.25, I think. Chris, can you read that?
It says $3.50.
50 cents. Oh my goodness.
There we go.
So it's really very cheap.
Yeah.
One of the things I did was research what the Center of Disease Control in the United States says about parasite infections in America. And I just want to read this one section. Most people think of parasitic diseases occurring in poor and developing countries, something they might pick up on an overseas trip. However, parasitic infections still occur in the United States, and in some cases affect millions of people. Often they can go unnoticed with a few symptoms, but many times these infections cause serious illnesses, including seizures, blindness, heart failure, and even death. And the last thing I just want to point out at the very end of this is often healthcare providers are unfamiliar with these parasitic infections and may not diagnose or treat them appropriately. They have limited understanding about how many people are infected or who is most at risk. So that's another reason why I think it's best to have things treated down here. The other thing you can do, if you're down here for a few months, and this goes for anywhere in the tropics or Asia, anywhere where you're not getting clean water out of the tap, and you love all kinds of food and different things. What you can do is buy one of these kits and take them back with you, even if you're not going to take it here. So if you do start getting symptoms when you're back in America, or Canada, you have it for $3.50.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Better safe than sorry.
So we thought we'd talk about, because a lot of people have misconceptions of what parasites are and where they live. So here's a slide that shows where parasites live in the human body, and you can see it's basically everywhere. And unfortunately, when I started researching this, what comes up is all the crazy things that happen to people with parasites. Like, that's what happens whenever you Google something, right? You see the worst possible thing. So there was some poor lady that eventually got diagnosed. They thought it was a brain tumor, so they were getting a biopsy of her brain, and then a worm crawled out.
Holy
Serious,
moly.
totally. I know they're thinking, oh, he's just making this up, but no. You go Google worm in brain, and I think it was an Australian woman, and she got it from some kind of snake or something in her tropical area. Bizarre.
That's crazy.
And then the next slide really talks about the most common parasites in humans, and really they're in 3 categories.
Protozoa.
And the next category is really all the different types of worms that you get. And I was going to I'm just leaving these small pictures up. I was going to put big pictures up, but man,
We don't need to see
it's
that.
gross. Like, that's what's scary about this, is they even look like beasts. And of course, the last is the ectoparasites, right? And the ectoparasites are all the ones that could get on your skin or just under your skin.
Ticks, mites,
yeah,
chiggers, scabies.
yeah, all those fun things. So yes, we're still living our life in Ecuador. They're probably thinking, "Oh my God!" Yes, it's just part of living in the tropics. It comes with the climate and the water conditions and the different things.
And we're feeling great now.
Yeah.
We're feeling great now. We're back to good health and living the life we love.
Yeah. So the next video, I promise, won't be on anything
Crazy.
crazy. Well, it might be crazy, but it won't be bad. Okay. Take care. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Stop recording.